Hello everyone, it's Jamal Thomas. Welcome to the Progressive Soapbox. So Julian Assange's account is back up. His account went down last night around 1:12 a.m. to 1 a.m. and was down for several hours. You can imagine people freaked out by this. People looked at Julian Assange as being a source of valid information about world affairs. So it was somewhat of a big deal that this heroic figure, this character that's locked into an embassy, went silent. There was no reason or there was no explanation as to why. Meaning, we didn't necessarily know whether Twitter shut his account down, whether it was a hack, or whether Julian Assange deleted the account himself. Nobody knew. Nobody still knows. This stuff is still up in the air. That being said, the account is back. A few weird things has happened around the Twitter situation or around Julian Assange. First, he's being held in an embassy. He's been there for 7 or 8 years. Because he's terrified that if he steps foot out the embassy, he's going to be extradited to the United States on some trumped up charge because we don't necessarily like this country. That he's been putting out true information on what this government has been doing behind the scenes. And not just this government, the other governments also. I mean, he is not a figure purely for the United States. He's a figure all across the world in this case. The man is somewhat of a hero. So it was a big deal that his account went down. The second weird thing that took place had to do with his office being ransacked. So these group of guys, this professional operation, went in and ransacked his office, Julian Assange's WikiLeaks office. Nothing was taken, meaning they didn't steal any money from anybody or anything else. And so it was this question of, okay, if they didn't take money, why did they come into the office? What was the point? They went in for some other reason. Now his Twitter account goes down. Again, weirdness and oddities. Nobody necessarily know why his Twitter account went down. Nobody even knows if Julian Assange is the one that's controlling his account at this point. All of those things are up in the air. And the last thing, the military, the United States Navy, tweeted out Assange's name. Now, this is bizarre in and of itself, but in tweeting out his name, they went back, they deleted it, and they gave an explanation saying, we accidentally hit this keystroke because this was a topic that was trending. Some kind of investigation or some kind of analysis of what was trending, and somebody hit a keystroke and up pops Julian Assange's name. Sounds a little weird to me, but it's possible. Who knows? Long story short, Julian Assange's account is back. Nobody necessarily know why it went down in the first place. Nobody necessarily know why it went back. Nobody necessarily knows if Julian Assange is the person controlling that particular account. Nobody knows anything. That's essentially the news. Nobody knows squat. This report more so is, at the very least, the account is back. So I'll put the link to his account at the bottom. I'll put the links to, I guess, the Twitter thing that people have been conversating about, and I'll put the link to the story that recounted this. There's a few, but all of the stories boil down to we don't know what took place. It's funny. It's like these documents and everything else saying we have no idea what happened. There is one thing. I want to apologize. I jumped to a conclusion in my other story. Meaning I got this story and it was like, holy shit, his account is gone. Flipping out, saying Twitter censorship. Now, this is one of those things where people become overly sensitive based on things that took place in the past. And Twitter does have a habit of shadow banning people, essentially banning certain content that Twitter doesn't like, in the same way that Facebook does, and the same way that Google does. With the pressure that Congress was putting on it, the political apparatus putting on Twitter for this dumbass Russia thing, it wouldn't shock me in the least if Twitter made the decision to get rid of his account. But I don't know that to be true, and I didn't know that to be true, and I jumped to a massive conclusion in saying it. So I would apologize for that. Yeah, I'll leave it at that. You guys have a Merry Christmas. If any news comes out about this, I will let you guys know. So until then, Merry Christmas.